could take out our highlighter for this. Maybe.
Is it gonna be on the test tomorrow?
This is on the quiz tomorrow because it is
And also,
review.
and also the division part?
What's that?
Also the division part?
And the division part. So the quiz tomorrow is division. Maybe if we get done really quick, I could give you a sneak peek at it if you like that. Okay. So the idea of substitution, it says, well, if you knew the x was equal to -3, can you find the value of 3x plus 5? And usually what we do with this substitution, here is where the x is, and you replace the x with a set of brackets and the number. So you're substituting, that's why it's called substitution. You're making a substitute. Instead of the x, you're putting in the -3. And we put the brackets so that we don't forget anything like, wow. This technically means when they're smushed together, right? That means 3 times x. So now when we do the substitution, that brackets there helps us remember that it's still going to be 3 times a -3. It goes 3 times x. And now the x is a -3. It's 3 times -3. And we'll have to do our order of operations. Does it make sense you multiply first? And when multiplying, you'll get a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. Then you can add the 5, and you get -4.
Sure, buddy.
Okay, so you'll have to, watch while you're doing it. And then when you get home, watch the video and add it to your notes.
Yeah.
Can I explain that again?
Yeah, I can explain it again. So what we're doing, it says if x is equal to -3, and I highlighted the x,
Yeah.
you replace that x with a -3, and we put it in brackets because in the original one it's 3 times x, so now it's going to be 3 times the -3. And you do your order of operations to figure that out.
Yeah, porque entre por en menos e igual a negativo y es
Positivo por negativo es negativo. Y 3 por 3 es 9.
y el 4.
Y después, 9 negativo más 5 es 4 negativo.
Oh, okay.
Would it always be in brackets even if it's like positive?
Yeah, because you don't want to confuse this with subtracting, right? If you just wrote -3, you might think, oh, is it 3 minus 3? And you subtract. But if the original question was the 3 and the x smushed together, that means multiplication. We need to make sure we keep the same operations all the way through. So the brackets just help us do that. So if x is -2, so now I'm going to take out my highlighter again here. I'm going to highlight this, x is -2. That means wherever I had x's, I have to substitute in with brackets. See how it's x squared, now I have brackets -2 squared. And then it was -4 smushed together with that x, which is multiplication. I can add a little green dot there saying, oh yeah, that's multiplication. It's still multiplication there. And then we have +9. So remember those brackets. Now, order of operations. What do you do first? Brackets, but the inside they're just holding something, right? So in order of operations, the brackets part, we do any operations inside if we can. Then we would go to exponents, and I have an exponent right here. I'll underline it in blue. What does an exponent mean? Repeated multiplication. And if you had -2 times -2, does it make sense that that becomes +4? Here I have a -4 times a -2. Does that make sense that this part here in orange becomes a +8? And then I still have the +9 from before. And now we're just adding and subtracting. So 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 plus 9, 21. So this is the idea of substitution. This is going to be on your quiz tomorrow as well. Can you plug in the numbers? And then can you solve it? This one has two things. I'm going to take out two different colors of highlighters. It tells me that x is -1. I'll do that in yellow. And y is -5. I'm going to highlight that in green. In my original equations, do I have any x's? I have an x here. So when I rewrite that, I put brackets and I put a -1 because x was -1. And in my original equation, I had a y here, highlighted that in green, so that I replaced that with brackets as a -5. Order of operations. Well, inside our brackets, they're just holding numbers. Do I have any exponents? Yes. Okay, I'm going to underline that. I'm going to underline that in purple. That's an exponent. What happens when you do that? -1 times -1 is? Careful. Negative times negative? +1. And then that +1 has to get multiplied by the 2.
2?
That becomes a 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sort of did two things at once there. We squared this to get +1, and then we took the +1 times it by 2 to get 2. Next, in orange here, I have a -5 times a -5. Does it make sense that that's going to be positive? And then 5 times 5 is 25. And then those are still like terms. 2 plus 25. You can put those together and get 27. I want you to try these on your own. I'm going to put the answer up in a second. Well, let's see how you did. Did you remember to put in the brackets? And then 3 times 3 is 9. Negative times negative is positive 2. And you should got positive 11. So easy to make little mistakes. You're going to find that out when you get Mr. Shirk is marking your first quizzes there. They were not void of little mistakes. You guys made lots of little mistakes. And in math, that really eats away at your grade quickly. Because each little mistake, half mark here, half mark there, half mark here, half mark there. So we really want to be particular. Next one. 5, put the brackets. 3 plus, put the brackets. -2 squared. Order of operations, definitely do the squared first. And a -2 times a -2 will be?
4 negativo.
Positive 4. And 5 times 3?
15.
15. And 15 plus 4? 19 is the final answer. I'll circle those final answers. And the last one. We have 3 plus, put it in brackets, -2, minus, put it in brackets, 3.
Yeah. Y no es multiplicar en vez de sumar.
This part here,
Yes.
if you're adding a negative, that is the same as subtracting. 3 minus 2 minus 3. Mental math, boys?
-2.
-2. Now you could do it in order. How many people did 3 minus 2 got 1? And then did 1 minus 3. You could do it in order. Or you could say, hey, I know that 3 minus 3 is 0. What am I left with? If that's 0, I'm left with -2. So sometimes you can play around with the order and it makes your life easier. It's awesome. Now, what we had on the last quiz was a lot of simplifying like terms. Awesome. We'll get the marks in for our quiz and we'll probably get them back. Maybe I'll even get them back to you at the end of class today. Okay? Sometimes this is what we did in our last class. The last quiz, we learned how to distribute. We learned how to combine like terms. Sometimes that's easier to simplify first before you substitute in. Then you have less math to do. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say I know that if a number is out in front, I can distribute this. I can distribute this. What would I get? 3 times x squared, 3x squared. Do the sign first. Positive times negative, negative. 3 times 4, 12. And then variables, I still have an x. Sign first. Positive times positive, positive. 3 times 2, 6. Next set of brackets. Sign first. Negative times positive, negative. 2 times 2, 4. And variables, x squared. Negative times positive, negative. 2 times 5, 10. And variable x. And last, negative times negative, positive. 2 times 6, 12. Do I have any like terms? Look at this, a 3x squared and a minus 4x squared. A negative 12x and a negative 10x. And finally, a plus 6 and a plus 12. Put the blue ones together. 3 minus 4, negative 1. Do I have to write the 1? No, I could. But I could just write negative x squared. Negative 12 and negative 10. And your number line, where's that going to end?
Negative 22.
Negative 22. And 6 plus 12?
18.
Plus 18. So this is considered simplified. And now we're going to substitute x equals 1. Wherever there's an x, put brackets. Look at the original. If you substituted in the original, you see you'd have to put a 1 in 4 times. And in the final one, you just have to put in the 1 twice. A little bit simpler. Order of operations, what should we do first? Exponent. What's 1 times 1? 1. And then the negative out in front would be a negative 1. That negative does not get the exponent. The exponent is just to the 1. Negative 22 times 1?
Negative 22.
And then plus 18. This is going to equal negative 1 minus 22, negative 23. Plus 18. Negative 5. So this is substitution.
Yeah,
We've got like 2 examples left and we're done our notes.
yeah.
Yes.
¿Puedo explicar esa parte que no la entendí?
Aquí or aquí?
Acá.
Okay. So it says, I'll highlight here, if x is 1, so we have to substitute the x for 1. We have an x here, so we substitute 1 there. We have an x here, so we substitute a 1 there. One squared is 1. Negativo, negativo.
¿Y por qué es 1? No debería ser 2.
1 por 1.
Oh,
Oh. Oh. ¿Ya? ¿Está bien? Ya. Okay. And the reason substitution is really, really important is in a lot of your science classes, you're going to get formulas. In math classes, you're going to get formulas. And formulas are really helpful if we can do substitution. This formula we looked at in first semester as well.
Holly never wrote either, eh?
Okay. You want to do it right now? No. Tomorrow?
Okay.
So here we have a formula. I'm going to put that formula in a green box. right? This formula is helpful if you travel to the United States and you're like, how warm is it really out? Because they tell me it's 92. I don't know what that means. Because they talk in Fahrenheit and we're used to Celsius. So you're going somewhere and they say it's 104 and you're like, is that hot? What does that feel like, 104? Should I bring my winter jacket or will I be okay? Well, here we have the formula. Okay? If they say you want to convert 104 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius, it means that you know the F is 104. So if I use my highlighter here, I go to my formula and I can say, well, there's the F in my formula. And I'm going to replace that F with 104. Now I have to do my order of operations, or since you guys are allowed calculators on everything, I would probably just type this exactly as I see it into my calculator. But if you did order of operations, you would do the 104 minus 32 first and get 72.
Calc.
And 72 divided by 9, for those of you going on to apply pre-calc next year, you'll have to do this kind of stuff without a calculator. So 72 divided by 9 is 8. 8 times 5. 104 degrees Fahrenheit is 40 degrees Celsius. Should you bring your winter jacket? No. That's hot.
Yo, is this gonna be on the quiz tomorrow?
Substitution is, I don't know. Let me see if I put a formula. I'll check it. I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Once we're done our notes, I'll give you a sneak peek of what.
Yes, on that sneak peek.
Sneak peek. Sneak.
I'm going into pre-calculus.
JR.
I'm going to fail.
Yeah, what we could do.
Pre-calculus. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to show you what a lot of work is. In fact, I did some stuff in this unit to give you an idea of what a lot of work might look like. Okay, here's our next formula. The area of a circle. This is on the grade 9 formula sheet. There's our formula. And in particular, they say find the answer when the radius is 5. So here is my r in my formula, and this is telling me my r is equal to 5. So I take my formula, I rewrite everything. Area equals, we've got pi, and where the r was, we put brackets. And now we do order of operations.
How do you make pi?
5 times 5 is 25. 5 squared is 25. In pre-calculus, sometimes you'll leave your answer like this. 25 times pi. But for us,
right?
yeah, that's an exact number. In a lot of other courses, it's more helpful to find out what that actually is equal to. So you type it into your calculator. I'll just round to 1 decimal place. And this is 78.5. Did we have units in this question? We did. It's centimeters. Area would be then centimeters squared.
I'm definitely going to fail pre-calculus.
So we plug things in into a formula, pretty straightforward. And this one has a part B. Is this our last? What do we got? We got one more example after this one, and your notes are done, right?
Well, there's the example, the volume of...
The volume one is the last one.
So, what about applied? You said pre-calculus, you can't use
In grade 10, the pre-calculus and applied is together. And then after that, you can choose to take applied or pre-calculus
Yes,
in grade
you
11.
can use a calculator, but there will be calculator and non-calculator parts of tests.
For the pre-calculus. And then once you get to applied, applied is all calculator again.
Yeah, but even in the intro to applied pre-calc,
Yeah.
some tests will have like a calculator and non-calculator.
Yeah. We have to know what words mean. Diameter is all the way across. Does it make sense that the radius is just halfway across?
Yes.
So if your diameter is 7,
And your radius must be.
your radius is 3.5.
12.5.
And our area, pi r squared. Definitely use a calculator for this, right? 3.5 times 3.5, you get 12.25. Take that 12.25 and multiply it by pi.
Yeah.
I remember the last
It's
time
like
you.
every day now.
And we have units, so we include our units.
Wait, so is this gonna be on the
Yes,
test or
that's
what,
over.
JR?
This will be on the, like using formulas could be on your test for sure. For tomorrow, I have substitution and division.
So it's like a really small.
Yeah.
Can you give the examples how to look at it?
Tomorrow's a quiz. I'll give you an example. We just have to finish the last example here. Add it to our notes. The volume of a cone is given by this formula. Oh my goodness, the formula has two variables. So, what do we know? We know the radius is 5. We know the height is 10. So in our formula, I'm going to take out my highlighters here. I can highlight R is 5. That means wherever the R was, I'm going to replace that with brackets with a 5. The H is 10. Wherever I have an H, I'm going to replace that with brackets and put a 10. Five, replace it with brackets. Still has the square there, right? Then the H, replace it with brackets. Put a 10. Now, if you have a good scientific calculator, and most of you have a good scientific calculator, I'm going to pull up my calculator.
No,
This is
no.
this is what I would do. I can even write my 1/3 as a fraction. I try to make it look
250.
exactly the same. Then I had pi, so I go and I put pi in the equation. Then I had a bracket, and I replace it with a 5 squared. And then I had a bracket and replace it with a 10. A good calculator, once you have numbers in an equation, you can skip order of operations. You can just plug this in.
Was it like 82.5?
82.5. We'll see how close he is.
I'm just, now I just the last minute guess because I knew you were going to do it right away.
All right, I'm gonna guess it is just over 250.
250 pi, but then a third of it.
Yeah, but so what I'm doing is my mental math. I'm doing 5 squared 25
I did
times
that.
10 is
Yeah.
250. Pi is close to 3, and I'm dividing by 3, so it's gonna be just a little bit more than 1. So I'm gonna say it's like 250 would be 1. If it's a little bit more than 1, maybe it'll get up to 263. I don't know. 261.8.
That's crazy. I was just trying to figure out without the pi. Like 1/3 of 250 is what? What is 1/3 of 250?
83.3 repeated.
Okay, so I said, what did I say?
80 something.
83?
And this is volume, which is centimeters cubed.
Yeah.
All right, I'll end the video here. Question about this one?
Una pregunta, ¿y todo eso estará en lo de mañana?
Mañana te voy a mostrar ahora. Okay.